Hello and welcome to my week 7 of the weekly reflections. So week 7 was a new start for me. It was a new week, it was fresh. And not being in last week, I wanted to put 100% effort in class and contribute as much as I could to show everyone I was trying to make back from the days I've been off. In the weekend, I wanted to spend some time developing my characters. I started with my most important role, Napoleon. I first thought of the detail of my character vocally and physically. First, vocally, he had quite a posh voice despite coming from a very poor family, and he grew up around rich people in his class as an infant, um, which kind of caught onto the accents. And he was very successful in battle and quickly climbed the ranks, and he thought of himself very highly, and he, obviously thought he was superior to everyone else. Physically, he looks and moves in a very proud manner with a long gait to show confidence. Bear with me for 1 second. The difference is working with a pre-written script to something that has been devised and created in a space is very, very big. When devising, it gives the actors a lot more freedom to work with one another, to put on some great like theatre together. A lot of the time with the scripts, the actors don't really get much choice in saying what happens in the scenes, apart from a couple line changes here and there that aren't too significant. Um, there's also a lot. It's also a lot more fun and enjoyable option devising the scenes and how you'd like them to be built. Having one and having an idea from an actor's standpoint, as they too have a very creative mindset as well. Um, and it's really exciting and as fun as it sounds, as fun as it sounds, pre-written script is more of a restricted option, but has a lot more detail normally, and having a writer will give the company a one up as the story will be created by an undoubtedly creative mind. It would also have the same. It would also save the company time with providing an already done story that doesn't require weeks of devising, which could, be more handy with using those spare weeks into rehearsing the play, right? Um, So first, we continued in a week. First, we continued in creating our scenes from the second act of the show. And as I wasn't in much on the second act at the start, I used my time wisely by recapping my mind on what we did before the half term. As I only really had like 2 days to recap whilst learning new scenes last week. I did this because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing, so that when we returned to Act Two, I wouldn't have forgotten what we did. I've been told I had even more lines, and I didn't know what my lines were, so I quickly overcame this issue by going up to my peers and asking what lines had been assigned to me. Thankfully, all the soldiers acting in Act 2 had an updated script with the new scenes that aren't on the script. And because I didn't have a notepad on me, I quickly got my phone out and started a new note tab with all the new scenes that I was in. Additionally, I wrote down on my script where these scenes were and named them so I can quickly just go onto my phone and flip it if I needed to change my script around. Um, Again, I really wanted to make sure I wasn't being slow at all, so I just made sure I was just on the ball. Um, I made sure I was very concentrating in the drama space, and this was difficult when I wasn't really meant to be doing anything, especially when it came close to the end of the day and I was just getting tired each day. I overcame this issue by making myself busy, either that be getting my phone out and writing some more notes, or reading through the script. Maybe think about how I could speak my lines and walk around the space when I'm on stage. And this really paid off my Napoleon scene, also my soldiers scene, as I messed around with like my tone of voice quite a lot. And I think that's really important, especially um, when you're using your spare time. Um, what I will say is that about our group is we can all have a laugh and get distracted easily in some lessons, but when it does come to the moments when we all know we're meant to concentrate, we're fully zoned in on the lesson, which is great for us. As well as this, since we're all good mates with each other, our communication is superb. So when we want to give each other feedback or like a small hand on a scene, we can talk about it easily. Um, there is one issue with the group, And sometimes we have people turn ill for a good couple of days, which would really bring the show down as we need everyone in the room at once. Because we need to create more scenes. We've only got so much time to rehearse, and yeah, it got close eventually. We overcame this issue just by simply carrying on with the script regardless of absences. Apart from one time when there was an option to go watch a no, there were maths exams, and it ended up having no one returning but myself and three or four others. So yeah, three others in the class. But we made use of the time by searching up songs that could be used for the play. I don't think any of them actually got used, but it was still nice to use that time up in the classroom, opposed to going out and doing whatever. I've made several decisions to help better my work, and firstly, I need to make sure I keep noting things down that happen in the week. For example, writing down feedback and key moments of the week. Secondly, I asked my peers if I was delivering my lines um, in the right way, and asked them if I can use it in a different tone. And finally, I used the work I did in the weekends thinking about my character into the rehearsal room. This helped me out massively, as I didn't really need to waste time in the actual drama space developing my character. Thank you for listening.